Hello, all my friends. My name is Rahul Kekre, and I'm working in IT industry for more than 22 years now. And I just want to share my experience on implementing most effective hybrid delivery methodology in IT projects. So, why I'm stressing on hybrid delivery methodology is because more than 22 years of my IT career, if I look back or in any of the ongoing or completed projects, I do not think that it's practically possible to find any project which is delivered by implementing only one delivery method 100% in its original format. And then the question may arise that is there anything in the world which can exist 100% pure form? And if it does, then how much can be the time to be in its original 100% form? But that is altogether a different discussion, and maybe so I don't want to go there. I want to be very precise and you know concise and confine myself to the IT project delivery method. So, okay, here I'm back to my topic that how to implement most effective hybrid delivery method for IT projects. So there are various delivery methodology which exist if we'll talk about any projects then just specific to IT also. So first one, if we will discuss, and all of them has very good features. So what we can do is we can identify the best features for all those delivery methodologies, and then we can implement and we can opt to select the best feature of every delivery model, whatever is suitable for our domain, or maybe the output or outcome or benefit which is sought from the project or program. So we can opt to select the best features of different delivery methods or models, and then we can customize them, and we can implement a hybrid delivery model for our project. And as I as we discussed, it should be definitely depend on the domain or the technology or a specific outcome, output or benefits which is sought from that project or program. Fine. So first one, if we will discuss the delivery model which was very popular and maybe in some past days, that was waterfall. So if we will discuss some key features of waterfall, it talks about sequentially progressing in project sequentially, like first identify the requirement and then get the requirement sign off, and then go to detailed design and then get that sign off, and then progress to development. And then once unit testing and all is done, then we will deploy the whole project in one go. So there will be no partial or incremental delivery, and it doesn't maybe encourage the iterative way. Also, we have to go sequentially and getting things signed off before moving to the next phase. So maybe what can be the best feature we can see here is, if we are getting a requirement or design sign off, that gives very big confidence and indication to the higher management and all the stakeholders that now we have very good understanding for that particular phase. So I'm not suggesting to implement in its 100% in its original format, but let us see one by one. When we will discuss all the delivery models, then we can discuss that what can be the best or most effective hybrid delivery model as per our requirement. Okay, so first one we discussed. Okay, guys, so before moving to the next delivery model, let us try to understand that where this waterfall model can be, most effective or can be implemented or maybe more suitable for. So, in my opinion, first criteria can be if the duration of project is not very big. So I just want to give you example. Suppose if we are trying to develop a product or project maybe in 2 years, and we first we took requirement, and after 2 years we deploy the product or project. So maybe the requirement which we captured 2 years back uh, may not be relevant as we captured 2 years back, so it may not be relevant to the market on that particular point of time. So first thing what I would like to suggest is, if the duration is not very big, maybe small, maybe few months. And the second most important point for to be considered the waterfall is, so what the waterfall suggests is, the baseline or identify scope is very important and compared to the delivery timeline. So when it comes to choose between two, so waterfall suggests that it's the baseline scope what we identified with the customer, that we are going to give you the full scope, that is more important. So Suppose and the third thing is where it is not possible to modify our design or requirement on the basis of feedback from the customer. So these three things make waterfall the best suited for these three scenarios. So suppose if I'll talk about identified scope. So if I'll talk about mobile phone, it may have some 5,000 features, but a normal person may be using at the most 100 or 500 features, but no mobile company can sell the product with only 100 features and then keep calling that mobile back from you that okay, we are adding new features and increasing the scope because that was what the baseline. That is not possible, right? That you also will not like. Okay, and the third scenario which I discussed is where it is not possible to adapt your design or requirement on the basis of customer feedback. So what can be example is, suppose if we are talking about construction business, suppose a construction company is developing some 500 flats or duplexes. So I do not think it is feasible or possible to call all the customers and show them the what they are constructing and keep changing the design. That is not possible, right? So this maybe these are the ideal scenario where waterfall can be the best choice, but again we can customize things accordingly. Okay, so let us discuss the next delivery model, that is DevOps. So what is DevOps? So DevOps consider development and operation as a single discipline. So it talks about continuous integration of development into operations, and it is a set of tools, processes, philosophies which just automate development and automation. And it talks about continuous integration of developing or developed code into the operations. So the deployment cycles and frequency are very high compared to any other delivery model. So wherever you think that the development and operation to be considered as a single discipline, yes, the choice should be DevOps. Okay, so let us go to the third one, which is iterative. So, what iterative delivery model suggests is, so you can start your product or project on the basis of your initial guess, and then as you move for development of your product or project, you keep evolving your understanding and require and keep refining your own maybe the code which you have already developed once you have more understanding of the scope or the output to be deployed or provided to the customer. So what can be the ideal scenario to implement the iterative model? So according to me, that can be prototyping. When when we are developing a prototype of a big product or project to show it to customers, so then we start with our guess, but then we keep modifying it on the basis of as and when our understanding is more evolved or we have more clarity for what we have to present to the customer. Okay, second thing is wherever we need rapid application development, there also we can use the iterative one. Okay, fine. So let us go to the fourth one now. Okay, guys, so let us discuss the fourth delivery model, that is called lean delivery model. So what does it suggest? So lean is all about eliminating the waste, or it also supports the philosophy of fail fast. So what is fail fast? This is very important to understand. Suppose if you are trying to develop a new product and you are targeting to maybe launch in the market maybe after 10 years. So and if after 10 years it doesn't meet the market need or your expectation, so 10 years is a significant amount of time which somebody invested in a product which did not meet the expectation. So lean talks about fail fast. So if you have any idea, at least a part of it, you try to conceptualize, I'm sorry, to develop that, even try to deliver in the market maybe in the first 6 months. So you will come to know that are you in right direction or not. And at the same time, second thing which lean supports is the eliminating the waste. So wherever you think you are working on a project or which is linked with process improvement, definitely go for lean, because that's what it talks about, eliminating the waste. So that will be very suitable for such kind of launching a new product or any process improvement. Fine. Okay, let us go to the fifth one, which talks about V model. So, what is V model? So, V model is just an extension of waterfall. So, what modification or extra bit it has or extension from waterfall, that in terms of in place of going sequentially, it it follows a V structure. So what happens, suppose if there is any problem in your developed code or system test, you go back to the requirement. Okay, but if there is any problem in the integration testing, then you go back to the detailed design document. And if there is any problem in after developing or in operation, so you go to the concept or the main features which were conceptualized for the project. So there may be some understanding gap in that. So it talks about such V model, correct? So it doesn't talk about going sequentially. So if there is any issue in development code or unit testing, system test, you go to the requirement. If there is any issue in integration testing, you go to the detailed design. And if there is any issue or problem you're facing after implementation or in operations, you go back to the first or the most important conceptualized requirement for the project. So that's what a V model talks about. So V model is maybe for where you need extension for the waterfall, that is very suitable. Okay, so let us go to the maybe for the sixth one, which is called spiral delivery model. So what does spiral talk about? So if we'll talk about spiral model, this is combination or maybe it's implemented already hybrid between or mix of waterfall and iterative. So how does it implement it? So generally, spiral delivery model is used for very large, big, or complex, or risk management kind of projects which are very big and complex. So what you do is some part of it you complete it in terms of waterfall going sequentially and try to deploy it, and then in such iterative way and using sequential both combination of both, you can deliver the project. So that is all about spiral. Okay. Okay, guys, so let us discuss the seventh and most exciting or maybe very successful in nowadays, specifically to IT industries, and why I'm telling, or linking it to its success to mostly to IT industry. So that we will discuss, and that is actually the way of working, and that is called agile way of working. Though agile is not a methodology on its own, it is a combination of values, principle, pillars, and all those things. If we will implement in our way of working, we can very well follow the agile way of working. So let us discuss the key features of agile way of working. So first thing, agile, maybe I may not be able to discuss all the pillars or values or principle in depth, but let us discuss the key features of agile way of working. So first thing, agile suggest is time boxing the delivery, and you should break your full project in maybe a cycle of at the most 4 weeks, and starting from 1 week to 4 week, you decide the time box duration, and after every time box duration, there should be potentially releasable software development. A piece of software development should be ready, and if customer wants to deploy and use it, he should be able to do that. So that's why I'm using the word potentially releasable. So that is not something must that you should or you must deploy it after 1 week or 4 week, whatever your time box duration is, but that should be potentially releasable. Okay. Okay, so if other key features, if we will discuss about agile, it talks about very minimal or no upfront planning. So you just start your development work as soon as you think you know you have understanding enough to start your development. So agile doesn't encourage signing of the requirement or signing of the detailed design report or design document or very detailed planning. No, it should be minimal documentation, minimal upfront planning, and you start your work. Okay, and agile even suggest or encourage that you can even deploy a minimum viable product. So what does it mean? So again, I would like to go back to my example of mobile phone. So though that is not very ideal or very suitable example that which where we can launch the minimal viable product. So I just want to give you example that suppose a mobile phone company is giving you 5,000 features, but I do not think any mobile company can launch with a minimal viable product mobile with 100 features, and then they keep calling back their mobile to add more features. So that is not possible, right? So that's why agile is very popular in those IT projects where deployment of minimal viable product is practical and feasible, and the customer can start using it, and early realization of benefits or outcome can be achieved. So all those places agile is very successful. And agile has several key features where agile talks about a daily stand up meeting or scrum call where all the stakeholders are getting together maybe for 15 minutes in the morning and discussing all the activities planned for that day, or what was developed yesterday, or what risk they face, or uh, whatever is the immediate priorities if they foresee any risk, so that can be identified. And again, agile doesn't encourage the conventional project team structure like a manager or manager or many management role. No, that talks about everybody in the team is developer, and the team should be cross functional and should be capable enough for even writing design, developing, testing, and for just having a demo with the customer for the developed piece of code. And if customer is agreed, so after the time box duration it can be deployed. So all those things can be done by the team itself. And then agile talks about empowerment, so empowering the team, so small scope changes and those things the team can make decisions. So that's where it is very different from waterfall, because waterfall talks about waterfall is very strict in terms of changing scope. There should be a very stringent change management should be in place. So but agile suggests that changes are welcome even later in the project, even later in the development cycle. And the most important aspect of the agile is frequent customer feedback and adapting design, development, and solution according to the customer feedback. So again, I'm telling you, if you are doing minimal documentation, minimal planning, daily stand up, time boxing, if you are doing everything, but still you are not agile unless and until you are having frequent customer feedback meetings and at the same time adapting your solution or design according to the feedback. If you're not doing that, according to me, you're not agile, even if you're following all other values, principles, pillars. But adaptation is the most important aspect of agile way of working, and that is what makes it distinct from other. And agile at the same time, so it is iterative and incremental both. Iterative in the way when you get a feedback from customer and you think you need to adapt solution or design, so you will do that iteratively, and after every time box you have a potentially releasable software component with you, right? So that is incremental. Very nice. So when it comes to implementing the most effective hybrid methodology, so according to me, if we have to select the best features out of all the seven delivery models, or maybe a few more which we have not discussed here, so according to me, the best hybrid model should definitely have time boxing, because that is where now we are planning right to left, correct? So developers have a target that maybe after 2 weeks or 4 weeks they have to complete a particular scope or a particular piece of requirement which they have identified for the time box. So time box is very important. Again, you can customize it according to your need or domain, or output or outcome or benefit sought by the project. Second thing, I think daily stand-up call is really very important in order all the stakeholders, developer, testers to be on the same page. So that is also very important. But in terms of if you talk about designation wise, it's totally up to you that you want testing team different, you want business analyst different, developer different, in order if you want more confidence in those specific piece of work. That is totally up to you. But again, daily stand up and time boxing, I will recommend. Those are very important and can play key role in delivering the project on time. Third thing, if we'll talk about planning, so initially we can do some high level planning. I would not recommend very minimal or no upfront planning. I will definitely suggest we can do some high level planning for the full project. But when actually we reach near to that particular point in time, we can detail out our project plan, or maybe yes, that will be, in my opinion, that will be a good approach. When it comes to design document sign off or requirement sign off, again we can go for iterative approach, that we can start writing a design document, but once it is in a good shape, in my opinion, we should not wait for sign off from all the stakeholders, and we should start the development. But iteratively, we can modify our design or evolve our design and development. That again comes to iterative and incremental approach. Very good. And the most important aspect and the key for customer satisfaction is taking customer frequent feedback, maybe whatever time box you have you have decided for your project, and then adapting those feedback from customer to the design and solution. Okay, that's good. And again, if we'll talk about reporting, agile talks about very informal reporting, maybe few bullet points on the whiteboard. But then again, it depends. So if you think that a detailed weekly report can give more confidence to the higher management, you can definitely go for a detailed report every week. So that will be even better to give confidence to the higher management. Then if we'll talk about change management, where agile talks about very informal or change management, and even the developers can make decisions for changes to be done in the scope. So there, I think changes should be welcome, but at the same time, there we can implement some kind of change management, maybe not that strict as original waterfall, but if there will be some impact assessment by various teams before actually starting the work, but means not as lenient as agile but not as strict as waterfall. That may be a good combination. And if we'll talk about again so before the final delivery, I think if we can get all our design sign off, then it will give really confidence to customer that yes, now before delivery, our all understanding and all design are validated and signed off by everyone. Okay, so these were just my suggestion, guys. So I just made this video because I thought if I have experienced few things while working in IT for more than 22 years, so I should definitely share it with my friends. Okay, if you have any comments, please give me on this video. Okay, thank you. Bye. Have a nice day. Okay, bye.